All right. Well, I think I finally got my lighting sorted out. I just wanted to drop a quick video detailing my thoughts on the final game of the 2024 World Chess Championship and some of the narratives that have been coming out because of the way that the final game ended. Uh, Liren, the defending champion, blundered into a losing king and pawn endgame and did so suddenly in a game that was uh, certainly Gukesh, the challenger, was better, but uh, objectively, it was a drawn ending, and he suddenly just lost it in one bad move. And there are some narratives now that this ending was disappointing, that it was anticlimactic. There are even certain colorful characters suggesting that it was fixed. Uh, and I would like to challenge all of those narratives, eh, not only because it's just fun to disagree with former world champions, but also because I think that the new champion, Gukesh, he deserves his flowers. And when I saw the ending of game 14, um, I did not see some hugely disappointing anticlimactic um, moment. Instead, what I saw was a persistent strategy that finally paid off in the 11th hour. Everyone who knows anything about the game in a serious way recognizes that Gukesh spent almost that entire match pressing. That's not to say that he was always in a better position. Sometimes he pressed in positions in which he was worse. And maybe objectively, if you're just judging by the computer evaluation, he shouldn't have. But that really brings me to the big point that I want to make before I draw my conclusion, which is that one of the really beautiful things about the game of chess is that it's such a human game. Everyone now has access through just a quick Google search. You can access a chess engine online that is stronger than any living chess player. And because of that, it's really easy for people to spout off opinions um, about what a player should or shouldn't have done because their computer says so. Add to that you also have, former world champions saying similar things, and I guess that legitimizes it a little bit. But here's my issue. Here's my issue. Ding was not playing a computer. Gukesh was not playing a computer. They were playing people. And so what Gukesh did almost that whole match was he applied pressure. Now, there were at least two games in which that backfired, the two that he lost. And Ding's his wins in this match were really impressive, and he really showed what a deserving champion he is in his own right. But when I think about those last moments of game 14, what I see is not an anticlimactic disappointment. Instead, what I see is finally, after all that work and all that waiting and all that pressing, the vindication of Gukech's strategy from the very beginning of the match, which was to place Ding under pressure until he cracked. And what I saw in that match was Ding resiliently defending and uh, resisting the attack, resisting the pressure until the final moment when he finally cracked. And so what I see in that final moment of the final game was actually as climactic as any tie break that next day could have been, if not more so. Unless, of course, that next day would have been just Gukesh continuing to press and then winning, which might have been the case. But we don't have to guess or postulate what might have been, because what we have is what happened, which is that Gukesh earned the world championship by applying constant pressure to the defending champion, a worthy champion, until he finally cracked. And the fact that he cracked at the end of game 14, it's so beautiful, it's so poetic, it's so human. Uh, I just to be clear, I think the idea that the match was fixed is ridiculous, and there's no evidence to suggest so. But if I were to offer any uh, shred of evidence that it was, I would say that the only possible evidence you could come up with would be just how climactically that this championship ended. How wild is it that it ended in the final moments of the final game, when the challenger, who was pressing and applying pressure the whole time, finally made the defending champion break? I just thought that it was such a beautiful and a painful for Ning, a painful vindication of the challenger's strategy. I think Gukesh deserves his flowers. I think that certain former champions and failed would-be uh, uh, challengers are being a bit salty, and I admire Ding and Gukesh both for their resilience and the strength of their play. But I think that Gukesh deserves to be the world champion because of the way that he won, and that includes the final moments of the final game. That's my 2 cents. Feel free to chime in with your own. Have a great day.